Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 7th episode of Game Show News. I am really happy that you can come and join me today. I am going to be sharing more game show news headlines, past or present, for all of you game show fans. And when I share the news, I will only tell you about what went on game shows, without showing any video clips, due to copyright. Alright guys, here we go, with episode 7 of Game Show News. Enjoy! Today, on Game Show News, I will talk about going from heartbreaking to a comeback on The Price is Right. I will also talk about a marriage proposal on Let's Make a Deal. But first, I want to talk about the NBC game show, The Wall. The Wall returns to NBC with a brand new season on Monday, January the 5th, 2026. And it was the first show since Monday, September the 9th, 2024. The season began with a father and son by the names of Stephen and Seth. Stephen is a father of 3 sons, and Seth is one of them. He is married to a woman named Sandra for 33 years. He is also a security guard at an elementary school in Triangle, Virginia. Now here is a story that I am going to tell you that's probably going to make you cry. So, you'll want tissues for this one. Stephen was an off-duty police officer for 15 years. And his heroic moment was when he rushed to the Pentagon on Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. During Attack on America, he had seen smoke at the Pentagon and helped out by rescuing people out of the building. He also earned the Declaration of Valor for his heroic action from the Governor of Virginia, Jim Gilmer. He also gave a speech saying he spent the whole day at the Pentagon. He was doing everything he could to help as many people as he could. That day, on September the 11th, brought tears to his heart to see so many people lose their lives. But the spirit that American people have does not stop and propels us to go forward. And Stephen, I want to say thank you for your selfless work by helping out as many people by saving their lives on that day. Seth is a college student studying to become a teacher. Along with Sandra, who came to support Stephen and Seth. There was also Sterling, another one of Stephen's sons and one of Seth's older brothers. They went home as heroes with $1,660,629. Gave up a contract offer of $170,632. During the third round, one of the green balls landed on the $1 million slot, and another green ball landed on $500,000. Good job, Stephen and Seth. I I am really happy for you both. Stephen, your story brought a tear to my eye. Thank you for sharing your story. And congratulations on winning $1,660,629. You truly deserve it. As of the making of this episode, the wall gave away more than $30 million. $30,807,596. And looking at the all-time records, Stephen and Seth are ranked at number 3 for the highest single payout on the wall. The second highest payout on the wall is $1,670,254, set by a grandmother and granddaughter team named Nellie and Taylor. And the all-time record on the wall is $1,749,907, set by brothers Hector and Hector. Alright, and now here we go with the next game show news headline from The Price is Right. Aired on Thursday, January the 8th, 2026. A woman by the name of Kimberly Alexander went from having a heartbreaking loss during a pricing game to an exciting win in the showcase round. She played the shell game for a chance to win a 2025 Nissan Sentra SV. The color of the car is blue. It is priced at $23,675. The first small prize she was presented was a 5.7-inch duck vase. The wrong price was $60. She said, lower. It was $40. She won that prize and earned a red chip and put it on shell number 3. The next small prize was a forlorn golf disc. The wrong price was $30. She said, lower. It was $19. She won that prize and earned another red chip. She places that chip on shell number 2. The next small prize was a baseball catapult. The wrong price was $100. She guessed higher. It was $115. She won that prize and earned a third chip. She places it on shell number 4. And the last small prize was a HyperX USB microphone. The wrong price was $75. And if she was to guess higher or lower correctly, not only will she win all 4 prizes and 4 chips, but she will automatically win the car. And then have the chance to guess where the ball is behind one of the shells to get a $23,675 cash bonus. She guesses higher than $75 for the USB microphone. It was lower. The price of the microphone was $60. And to make things worse, the ball was behind shell number 1. I'm sorry, Kimberly, that you did not win the shell game. But I am happy you got a double showcase win in the showcase round. That's right, she made a bid of $26,500 for kitchen appliances, a home theater and sound package, and a pair of 2026 Honda Rebel motorcycles. The actual retail price was $26,586, off by $86. She also won a trip to Vermont, hiking gear, and a camera, and a 2025 Hyundai Sonata SEL, all worth $34,906, plus a desktop computer worth $1,530, along with the 3 small prizes from the shell game worth $174. Altogether, the total amount of prizes are worth $63,196. Congratulations on your comeback, Kimberly. Enjoy all the prizes But wait. There is more. I just got a message saying that history was made the day after, on Friday, January the 9th, 2026. A second double showcase win has happened. 2 double showcase winners in a row. It was done by a man named Mac from Buffalo, New York. He made a bid of $26,600 for a poker table, a pair of grills from Chuck Woolery, and a 2025 Kia Soul X. $26,636 was the actual retail price. Wow! A $36 difference. He also won a trip to Alaska, a trip to the Dominican Republic, and a 2026 Bayliner Element E16 limited edition. All worth $43,935. He also won a 2025 Hyundai Kona SE worth $26,295 while playing any number, plus a seating set worth $4,100 in the one bid. His total prizes were worth $100,966. He is in the $100,000 club. And according to The Price is Right, this is the third time in history that the show had back-to-back double showcase winners. Congratulations, Mac. Enjoy all the prizes you have won. And now, we are moving on to the next game show news headline, with breaking news. Michael Reagan, the adopted son of the late President Ronald Reagan, has died at the age of 80 of cancer. On Sunday, January the 4th, 2026, Reagan was born John Charles Flafor on Sunday, March the 18th, 1945, to Issy Irene Flafor, who was an unmarried woman from Kentucky who became pregnant through a relationship with John Burlsa. He was later adopted by Ronald Reagan and Jane Wyman, and he was renamed Michael Edward Reagan. 4 years later, in 1949, Ronald Reagan had divorced and had remarried in 1952 to Nancy Davis. Michael was the original host of Lingo. The original Lingo began on Monday, September the 28th, 1987, and ended on Friday, March the 25th, 1988. It is a word game where 2 teams try to get a lingo in the main game by spelling out 5-letter words. Whichever team did the best would go on to a bonus round, called the No Lingo Bonus Round, where they cannot get a lingo and have the chance to win thousands of dollars in cash. Michael had hosted for 13 weeks in 1987 before creator Ralph Andrews took over as host for the other 13 weeks in 1988. In June 2004, Michael gave a eulogy at his father's funeral stating, quote, "Dad, when I go, I will go to heaven too. And you and I, we will dance with the heavenly host of angels before the presence of God." End quote. Michael, you and your father have finally reunited. We're sorry to see you go, but I'm happy that you and your father are dancing with the heavenly hosts of angels. Thank you for the hard work in the public service and championed your father's political visions. May you rest in peace. Alright, and now we are going with the next game show news headline. This time, from Let's Make a Deal, on Wednesday, January the 7th, 2026. We meet a man by the name of Marquise, who designs ethical AI, logic-built AI. He explains that ethical AI is to make sure that people do not lose their jobs, because people are afraid of AI. The game that he played was called Sculpt Me a Deal. Host Wayne Brady starts off the deal by giving him $1,000 and a chance to earn more money. Model Tiffany Coyne was going to be sculpting an object by using 4 clay balls. Mackey's faced executive producer Chris Ahern. As Mackey's faced Chris, Wayne shows Tiffany that she had to sculpt a snail. Then Wayne shows the viewers at home what Tiffany will be sculpting. Tiffany had 20 seconds to sculpt that snail. And when she was finished, Mackey's went over, looked at it, and correctly guessed snail. He got $1,000 for correctly guessing snail. So now he has $2,000. The next sculpting that Tiffany had to do was a hot dog. Mackey's looked away, and Tiffany sculpted for 20 seconds. When Tiffany was done, Mackey's looked at it and correctly guessed hot dog. He got another $1,000 and was up to $3,000. So now, Mackey's can take $3,000 or see what's inside curtain number 1. He chose to take $3,000. And he missed out on a new bedroom set worth $7,197. But the good news is, he did not get a zonk. And after that deal, Mackey's takes out a ring. When he pulls out that ring, he said, "This is for his fiancée, Kat." He said, "Kat Sackett, will you marry me?" And Kat was speechless on what he had asked her. So then, Wayne Brady went up to her and brought her down to the center stage. Then, Mackey's gets on his knees and asked her, "Will you marry me?" She stood there, and somebody in the audience said, "Say, yes." Then Wayne tells Kat, if she says yes, then Mackey's will protect her from the AI overlords. Then Kat nods her head and said, yes. Then Mackey's gives her a kiss and a hug. And he puts the engagement ring on her finger. Mackey's, I wish you and Kat years of happiness together. Enjoy yourselves, and enjoy the $3,000. Alright, the next game show news headline is a Ryan Seacrest first on Wheel of Fortune. Aired on Friday, January the 23rd, 2026. After winning $10,000 in the triple toss-up, Chad Hedrick, a country music fan from Lexington, Kentucky, gave the wheel more than just a final spin. The category was a numbers game. The bell sounded, meaning that Chad had to give the wheel one last spin of the game. When Chad spun the wheel, it landed on loser turn. Ryan shook his head and replied, "Chad, Chad, Chad." So Chad had to spin the wheel again, and it landed on loser turn again. Then Ryan goes up to Chad and tells him the idea is to get one with the numbers and points to the $700 wedge and the $800 wedge. And for the third time, Chad again spins the wheel. Ha, ha, ha. Excuse me for laughing, but the third spin was a bankrupt. Ryan tells Vanna White, "Vanna, cancel your dinner reservation, we are not going to get out tonight." Then Ryan claps his hands and says, "Chad, give it one more time." And finally, the wheel stops on $600. That means that all the consonants were worth $1,600 apiece. The first letter that Chad called was a T. There were 4 T's in that puzzle, and Chad quickly answered, "Catch 22." Ryan was trying to talk as Vanna was putting up the letter T's on the board, and Chad had quickly answered. Then Ryan puts his head down on the podium for a brief moment and puts his head up and says, "I didn't even get through what I was trying to say there." Chad ended up winning $19,400 in cash, plus an additional $55,000 in the bonus round, successfully solving a puzzle with the category around the house. It was Puffy Blanket. Chad had won a grand total of $74,400 in cash. Chad told Ryan that he couldn't believe it after that solve, and still couldn't believe it, and that it was a lot of concert ticket money. Chad, you were a lot of fun in that episode. I really enjoyed watching every minute of it. Congratulations to you. Enjoy all of that money, along with some concerts, festivals, or wherever you may go. And also, thank you for the Chuck Woolery mentioning during the beginning of the episode. And as many of you know, but if you hadn't, Chuck Woolery died on Saturday, November the 23rd, 2024, at the age of 83. He was the original host of Wheel of Fortune from January the 6th, 1975 to December the 25th, 1981. And earlier, I mentioned Lingo, originally hosted by Michael Reagan. Chuck was the host of the Game Show Network version of that show back in 2002. But Chuck was best known for hosting Love Connection from September the 19th, 1983 until July the 1st, 1994 in syndication. And this is where Chuck coined the phrase, "be back in 2 and 2", figuring that a commercial would last for 2 minutes and 2 seconds. And he used that phrase in other shows as well. He was also best known for hosting Scrabble from July the 2nd, 1984 until March the 23rd, 1990 on NBC, before bringing it back from January the 18th until June the 11th, 1993. And Chuck, thanks for the game shows you have provided throughout the years and your early years as a country musician as well. Rest in peace. As long as we are on the subject of Scrabble, the show has been renewed for a second season, hosted by Craig Ferguson. This version of Scrabble is different than the original one, with Chuck Woolery. The season began on Thursday, January the 22nd, 2026, along with a new season of Trivial Pursuit, hosted by Reading Rainbow host LeVar Burton. You can catch both of these shows on the CW Thursday nights. Check your local listings and TV stations. Alright everyone, that's going to do it for Game Show News today. Thank you for watching my show. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys can tune in for the next episode. I am going to have another variety of game show news headlines in stores, past or present. Thank you all for tuning in for episode 7 of Game Show News. I will see you in the next episode. You folks have a great day now. Bye bye. Thank you for watching Game Show News on the Plotagon 9133. If you enjoyed today's episode, or if you like any of our videos on the Plotagon 9133, please leave a thumbs up or a like. And then don't forget to subscribe if you are interested in more of our content. You folks have a great day. I hope to see you in the next video.